Hello my dear health seeker, Inga from Health Origins here. So today I'm really looking forward to this attempt at making soy milk again. I have made soy milk in the past, but I did find that it was quite beany tasting, so it wasn't quite a nice and neutral flavoured milk that you get from the stores. So I'm gonna try a couple of tips that I've seen from other people's videos and recipes and advice, and hopefully this time we'll have some delicious and non-beany tasting soy milk. So let's begin. So here I've got my 2 cups of soybeans that I've soaked overnight in the fridge. So they had, over 12 hours time to soak, and the way you know that they're ready, if you pop it and it splits into 2, then that's great. So one tip I got was that to avoid that beany taste, we need to remove as many of these skins, from these soybeans as possible, and it is a laborious process. So the best way to do it apparently is to just go in there and squeeze like this, the beans between your fingers and let them kind of come off. But also you kind of need more water so they float up to the top, and then you can skim them off from the surface. So I'm gonna just find a bigger container. I'll probably divide this in half, and we'll kind of do the half beans, and try and get as many of these skins as possible. So the best method I've found so far to remove the most skins is to take a good handful of beans and rub them against each other quite hard, put pressure on it, because it's actually quite hard to get the skins off otherwise. So just take a handful and properly rub it against each other and put pressure on it, and then you can see quite a few of the skins are coming off. So that's a good workout at the same time for your arms. So I think I rubbed all I could. My arms are killing. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of disturbing the beans to get the skins to come out to the surface, and when the actual beans are sinking, I'm getting the skins up like this with the slotted spoon. So that's probably the easiest technique, because you'll be forever trying to pick out individual skins if you try to do it one by one. So this is definitely the most laborious part of the process. So I've got quite a few skins off. It's probably maybe a third of all the skins off, but that'll do. And then I've got some actually beans that I've never hydrated, so they're still hard. So when I was draining my beans, I obviously found some of them. So, or if you find any discolored beans or anything like that, so it's great time now to remove these. So we'll move on to the next step. So let's go to the process of making soy milk now. So this is probably about 4 to 5 cups from 2 dry cups of soybeans. So that's what I've started with. I've started with 2 cups of dry soybeans, and I still actually find some small soybeans that haven't rehydrated. So just give it another skim, and if you can see some discolored beans as well, you might want to get rid of that too. So now I'm gonna probably work in 2 batches. Still some here, that's so strange. So keep on finding them. So I'm gonna put half of the beans into my blender, so approximately 2.5 cups or so in here. and then leave half for the other batch. And I've just boiled my kettle of water, and you want to use boiling water for this. You want to use boiling water for this because this is a second tip. So the first tip was to reduce that beany taste. So the first tip was to remove the skins, and the second tip was when we blend, we want to put boiling water. So we'll put about a litre, 4 cups of water in here. So that's about 4 cups, and then we're gonna blend it on high for about a minute or so. I'll check the consistency. You wanna kind of blend, you know, quite a bit so that you remove most of the white goodness, you know, the protein from the beans, but you probably don't want to over blend it, so you can't even strain it like your nut milk bag is struggling to actually strain the pulp because it's so fine. So I'm gonna just put that on for a minute to start with, and then I'll check. So it's blended for about a minute. I want to check how thin the pulp is. Yeah, I think that's about perfect actually. With my powerful blender, a minute is, I think, just right. If your blender is not as powerful, perhaps you might need 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes. But with like Thermomix or Vitamix, Blendtec, or any more powerful blenders, that's about perfect. So what we need to do then is to actually strain the milk from the solid. So we need to separate the pulp and the milk. So I've got a nut milk bag here resting on a little wire mesh strainer and in a jug. So I'm just gonna pour my milk, well, the blended soybean mass. I'm gonna pour it in, and then gonna close that off, and we're gonna squeeze the liquid out. It's very hot, so I'll need some kind of spatula, so you can just roll it like this, and as you can see, the white lovely milky liquid is pouring out. So I'm gonna just get a silicone spatula, or a wooden one would work, and just press, because obviously, like I said, it's just been boiling water, so it's pretty hot still. You don't want to do it by hand, and you just squeeze the milk out. That'll take you know, a minute or two to get all of that liquid out as much as possible. So just so work different areas of the nut milk bag, and that's why I said if you over blend it, it'll be harder to strain it like this. So actually you could, you know, experiment with doing it, blending it for half a minute and see how fine the beans were, or maybe 45 seconds. So I'm just gonna keep on draining this. So now I've squeezed as much as I could with a spatula, and now I've got this silicone little kind of mitt. So because it's still hot, that will help me to squeeze a little bit more out, as you can see. So be inventive, see what you can use to squeeze out, or you could leave this obviously to cool down more, and then you could squeeze it just by hand properly. So this is as much as I can squeeze out, and we've got a litre of milk now, and the remaining pulp is actually called okara, and you could use this to make different recipes. I've seen a few recipes online that make burgers out of them. and put it in sweet baking or savory baking. So I'm going to share a recipe or two for you to make from okara in the future. But now I'm going to do the same with the remaining soybeans, and then we're going to proceed to boil the milk. So now I've got 2 liters of milk that I put in this big pot. I would normally cook the milk in my Thermomix, which has got a spinning motion as it goes, so I don't need to mix it, but the maximum capacity there is 2 liters, and obviously this is going to be boiling, so I don't want it to overboil. So I'm going to just be doing in a normal pot on the stove. And then okara that I mentioned, the leftover pulp, is great, you know, for using in different recipes. But if you're not going to use it within 2-3 days, if you are going to use it within 2-3 days, then keep it in the fridge in a closed container, and it'll be fine. But if you're going to not use it within, you know, a few days, then just put it in a freezer, and it'll be great frozen, and you can reuse it later on. So I've got the milk on my induction hob, and I'm gonna get it to heat up and keep on mixing with this whisk, just to prevent it sticking to the bottom. So the third little hack that I've learned, that you need to put some salt into the soy milk for it to taste less beany as well. So I'm going to add this to the milk and mix it in. And basically we need to get this to boil and then simmer on medium for about 20 minutes, and then our milk should be ready. So it's been 20 minutes, and I poured a little bit of soy milk into this little jug, and I'm gonna try it. But actually, can you see how thick that is? I think we've got quite a lot of protein and, you know, kind of milky substance from the beans. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just boil the kettle another maybe cup of water and add to my soy milk. So it's not a soy cream, but actually a soy milk. And for now, I'm just gonna have a little taste test of that soy milk. Wow. Obviously it's still warm, so it's not giving me a proper true taste of the milk, but actually I can tell already that it's so much less beany. But it's so super thick. I think I might add a couple of cups to this and maybe boil for another 10 minutes. So the milk is now finished. I've took it off of gas or whatever, not gas, sorry, you know, just switched off my induction hob now. And I'm gonna let it cool a little bit, and then we'll do taste testing. So I've got my taste tester here.
Yay!
In the past you weren't a fan of the homemade soy milk, were you?
Not really, it was a bit too beany for my taste.
Yeah. So let's see if with the 3 tricks that I've used, whether it's any better.
Tricks?
Tricks, yeah.
Should I be worried?
Well, you'll have to watch the video to know what the tricks are, I'm afraid.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So,
cheers.
Cheers. It's not completely cold yet, right? And it's actually more of like a cream rather than, it's very thick.
I was gonna say, that's really quite thick.
Yeah.
It's almost like single cream.
Yeah.
There's a very, very slight beaniness. It's kind of been reduced to almost nothing, but you can still taste it a little bit.
But it's maybe because it's more concentrated. If it was like
yeah.
more of a milk rather than a cream, it might be even less, you know, and once it's cold actually too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because this is just kind of room temperature at the minute, it's not really cold yet. So yeah, so much better, isn't it?
I like it actually.
I would say definitely an improvement. I mean, to me, it kind of pretty much. Why don't we do this test? I've got some store-bought milk. Ta-da! Our organic Alpro, right? So let's just do a little comparison. Yeah.
Good idea.
So there you have it.
I'll swap you. There we go.
Yeah. So obviously this is cold and this is like thinner.
Yeah, it's a lot thinner actually. I'll try. Obviously, with it being cold as well, it kind of hits you.
Yeah, I think once ours cools down, and if it was a little bit less like creamy, I think it would be pretty much similar.
As I say, you could use it as a single cream rather than, so if you had some strawberries, maybe kind of. I would say maybe sweeten it up if you're going to do something like that.
I think it would be the same, to be honest.
What?
Very similar. That store-bought with that. Once
it's cold, cooled down, yeah. But it's still a bit thicker.
So guys, this is a success. It actually, all the things that I did different, they did reduce or almost eliminate the beany taste. However, making your own soy milk is so laborious that I think I'm going to stick to buying a carton of organic, plain soybean and water milk from a shop which costs £1.50 in UK for us anyway, and just avoid all of this work and hassle. It's interesting and nice to experiment, I think, but I would not be doing it every week because it's just too laborious. I mean, the only way I'm thinking that we could make our own soy milk if we bought like a soy milk maker where you just put dried beans in one end and you get the milk from the other end. But otherwise, we'll probably just stick to the cartons for the time being.
Until such a time it becomes easy to make homemade milk, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen my wife today at all.
It hasn't been just soy milk I've been making. I've been making a few other recipes that you'll see.
Nice treats.
You'll see soon. So yeah, if you're new, guys, subscribe for more videos. You see what else I've been up to, and hit the like button if you like this video, and share it with your friend if they want to try and make their own soy milk or experiment in the kitchen. And remember, food is fuel, so be mindful of what you put in your body. Until next time.
See you guys.